Alright, we're playing some more Blitz today, and this time we're facing a Polish opening, so I kind of have a choice here as early as move 1. And I'm going to play the German defense with queen d6. I think this is a fun system. Against it, you threaten this pawn and threaten e5 at the same time, and you're guaranteed the full center. By the way, they can't play b5 because then queen b4 forks the bishop and pawn. But here, white does have ideas to play for c4, trying to strike back at your center. So let's play f6 here, actually, just trying to blunt this bishop. It's been a while since I've had a game in the Polish opening, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, they strike at the center. I think it's knight d7. And you do have to watch out for the weaknesses on this diagonal, but I think for the most part it's fine. I know in some lines you can just play c6, drop the queen back, and try to develop like normal, and be happy with your space advantage. You can also play e4 and try to grab a space advantage over here on the king side, which I'm strongly considering doing. Maybe I could have done it last turn. Just playing e4, then f5, then knight f6, and you get a pretty typical, locked center kind of position. They're going to strike with c4, and you can play on the king side. So let's play c6 there. Make sure we get to maintain our strong pawn center. I'm wondering if they might take and then try to play bishop b5 to try to undermine our situation there in the center. So here, can we just play e4 and lock things up? Make sure this bishop can't get active. So e4. I don't think I have to worry about knight b5, because we just back up the queen and kick the knight away. So let's play e4, then let's probably play f5, so we can put this knight on f6, and we get a space advantage. Symmetrical pawns as far as which files they're on, but we do get a space advantage. And I still don't think we have to worry about any of your threats here. Queen h5 is nothing. The only problem is you do develop faster than us. That's kind of what white has in exchange for everything else. Now here knight b5 is a threat because of knight c7, of course. So here maybe a6. a6, and you might play knight a4 or something trying to come to c5 or b6. I guess not b6 in this case. But I think we're going to have enough time to just develop. So we'll play knight f6 next. Only question is, where does this bishop go? So yeah, knight c5, knight a4, you might want to come to c5. Is it worth playing b6 to keep you out? Probably not. We have to get these pieces into the game. Let's play knight f6. And if you play knight c5, now we can't play b6 now, probably. Probably too late for that. And if we take, we open your bishop back up. So what if we just ignore this knight for now? Then you take on b7. That's annoying too. So that is kind of annoying. So if we take on c5, and you take with the pawn, I don't really like that. You have a strong pawn majority, your bishop's open. So maybe white's better now, unfortunately. I think their knight here on c5 is pretty strong. Trying to think of the best way to play against this. Rook b8 is possible. It just feels kind of passive, but I guess maybe we should just go with it. Rook b8. I'd like to play bishop e7 and castle, or maybe even, could we play for a quick g5 f4? Feels a bit suspicious, but in Blitz, sometimes you just have to go for it sometimes. Okay, b5. Maybe a5? a5. You still can't really play b6 too easily because of knight a6, but maybe that's not such a huge deal, although you're threatening knight c7 still, so it's kind of annoying. And if we take, you have a lot of pressure there, don't you? And we can't really ignore it either because you're threatening to take here on a6, although that would open up our rook to attack the bishop, so maybe there's no threat yet. Queen b6 is an idea. Queen b6, thinking about taking on c5 now, could make sense, and still maintaining this pin on the b-pawn. So queen b6, if you take our bishop on e6, we just take back. I think we're pretty happy with that. That's not such a great bishop. If you take on d7, I don't think we care. You can't really gain a tempo anyhow, so let's play queen b6. Spending a lot of time here in the opening, though, as is typical. So now I think we can take your knight, if you do nothing. We can also play rook c8 next if you play, for example, queen c2, I think. And they're spending quite a bit of time here, too. They've almost used half their time. That 2-second increment definitely does help, as always. Okay, fine with that. Queen takes e6. And we still get to maintain this space advantage. Now you can take here if you want, but again, that would open up our rook. And I'm thinking we just play probably bishop d6, castle, and play for the f4 pawn break. That seems to make sense to me. White still isn't castled either. but they do have this kind of initiative on the queen side for the time being. Almost caught up on time, 15 seconds down. Okay, a4, not too worried about that. Let's play bishop d6. Possibly f4 next, possibly castles next. Still no threats here. I'd like to connect rooks, though. And now play for f4. Okay, well now g5 seems very intuitive. Although now maybe h4, because you haven't castled yet. You'd like to maybe open this rook on our king. Okay, that makes sense too. g4 kind of gives up on the f4 idea, doesn't it? But I could play for like g4, h5, h4. It just feels weird that we've castled and you haven't, to be playing like that. There's no other great way to defend this pawn, I don't think. Although it's currently defended, we could just start doubling on the f-file. I don't think we have to do anything in response to that move, do we? Okay, trying to trade dark bishops. Way low on time. Okay, let's play g4. I just want to kick this bishop away and play for like h5. Feels really slow, but maybe it's fine. Maybe we should be worried more about the c-file, though. I mean, you're going to play rook c7 soon, I think. Knight b6 could be an idea. You're going to play bishop f1 here, I think, because the bishop's really bad on g2. So I'm just trying to think. Could we play knight b6, trying to play rook c8 next turn, trying to get control of the c-file? Especially if you play bishop f1, because then you can't really castle too easily. Problem is, a6 could be hanging. And I don't really want to take here on b5. I guess we got to do it anyway. Down to 20 seconds. Got to play a bit faster. Takes, knight b6. But now rook a7, huh? I guess you missed it. You can castle now. Now I'll double on the file. Yeah. h5, h4 might still be an idea, but I think this the c-file is going to be more important. So let's play here. Let's neutralize the file. And I'm not totally sure how to assess this endgame. Okay, I guess this changes things a bit if they can play that. But I think we can play knight d7. I just want to make sure. But I think it's safe. You could infiltrate, but then we do too, and that's more scary for you, I think. Okay, check. Here. You can give check, king g7. Maybe I shouldn't have allowed this, but your bishop's under attack, your pawn's under attack. Maybe you just take a perpetual? No? Okay. Let's hide. Bring the queen back around. Knight c4 and march our past pawn. Feels like we're worse, though. I'm scared of all these pawns white has, and you probably still have ideas for perpetual in a lot of cases. I'd like to bring this knight around to help protect the king a bit more, and now start pushing my past pawn. Okay, I'll exchange, I guess, because now it's probably hard for you to attack. The knight can't join very easily. You don't have any checks, right? Okay, now you do. Now you do. King g8. Okay. Is it safe to run? Maybe. It's just going to be a time scramble, I think. We're way low on time, but we have the best passed pawn. In fact, the only passed pawn as of right now. Okay, now we can't push the pawn as easily. It's kind of annoying. Let's go after this guy. Can we take it? Let's bring our knight into the attack. But now your knight's joining too, huh? Okay, this is scary, for sure. Feel like we're probably going to lose this. Can we undermine you? All kinds of discoveries. Let's come back. I don't think we can defend this. Our king's too weak. Okay, they're threatening this. Okay. I'm just trying not to lose on time. Okay, well now I have this, threatening, I guess, nothing. Threatening queen takes g5, that is a threat. Okay, let's take it. Threatening mate too. Okay, now we have the passed pawn. You can grab our guy. I'm just wondering if our pawn's fast enough. Probably not, but we can try. b2. check, check, take and defend. We have some time back on our clock, and our king's active again. Certainly we can't win this. But okay, we can draw this. Should be a fairly simple draw. There we go. And a draw. So not a terrible result there with the black pieces against a 2200 plus player, all things considered. Let's actually go to the analysis board and check this out. Self-analysis as always. I'm sure it's going to glitch out if I start looking at moves, but let's let it. So d5, the German defense, intending queen d6. Okay, there it goes. d5, and the idea here, there's many ways you can play, but the German defense is queen d6, threatening b4 right away, and threatening also to play e5. So bishop e2, queen d6, and some players fall for this trap with white. I've seen this a lot. Well, not a lot, because you hardly ever see the Polish, but in the few instances where I do, white could play b5 here. That's a common way to react to the pawn beaten threatened in the Polish, but then queen b4. And you actually can't defend all your material, and you don't get enough compensation there for the pawn. So a3 is the main move, then e5, e3. I'm wondering if f6 is the most popular move here. Yeah, I guess there's no need to play it right away. That's probably way too committal. I'm not sure why I would play that right away. That's never been played. I know it's an idea, but in this particular position, there's no need to play that. I think I was thinking on knight f3 you can play f6. So f6 probably not great. And out of the opening, we do get this space advantage, but I think white's activity might be counting for more here, just because they have more development, more initiative here on the queen side. And especially after they provoke a6, which, I mean, what else? We can't allow knight b5 now. Just the simple idea of knight a4, knight c5 seems pretty annoying for us. Rook b8 is pretty passive. Queen b6. And I'm curious if black's actually okay here. I thought this was a nice idea to pin the bishop, but let's actually check just to be sure. Oh, aha, yeah, there's knight takes a6 with this tactic with rook c6 coming, forking us if we take the knight. So yeah, I think white could have just won very quickly with their queenside initiative. We just didn't develop fast enough. Probably, like I said, f6, c6, maybe a bit too much, too creative. But okay, after this I was kind of happy getting rid of the bad bishop and just wanting to develop here and push forward on the king side. Now, could we have played f4 right away here? I wonder if this was possible, because I guess g3 stopped us. I thought g3 we just played g5, but I didn't really consider this bishop h3 idea. Yeah, as far as I can see, there's no real problem with this, and I think I'd already maybe prefer the black pieces if I could just play f4 like this. But after g3, g5, bishop h3, I think here's where I started to lose kind of the thread of the position a little bit. Rook f7 isn't really a move that does anything, I don't think. I was just playing because I was low on time. I'm kind of curious what else you could do here, though. You could certainly try to contest the c-file right now before white castles. That might actually make sense. I think, yeah, just simply rook f c8 makes sense to me, because now if you castle, now we're more inclined to play for like g4, h5, h4. If you don't castle, then we take control of the c-file, possibly. So I'm not too sure why rook f7. Well, I do know, it's because I was low on time. Bishop a3, takes, g4. And I think this might have been a mistake too. Could you just play queen a7 here and I guess force us back, and then maybe rook c7? There's a lot of, initiative white's still getting over here on the queen side. Although I think we can defend everything, looking at it now. I think the knights are stable enough. You can't do any kind of, removing the defender to win the rook. But at any rate, all the major pieces come off the board on the c-file. Or no, they don't. Sorry, queens don't come off. I thought queens were going to come off, but instead white tries to keep queens on. And I didn't think they could, because we get to penetrate here on the c-file. And this was kind of a very unclear stage of the game, at least to me. I thought our queen was going to be better, but I guess this knight on f1 defends everything. And after you grab some pawns, I think you grab the f-pawn at some point. We grab the b-pawn. Now we have a passed pawn, but our king is super weak. And I feel like this probably wasn't great for us. In these kind of positions, with queens still on the board in these complex, late middle games, it's usually better to have the safer king than have the, the outside passed pawn. If queens were off the board, it might be different. But I think king safety counts for quite a bit here. But once again, this would be a great training position if any of you wanted to set this up on a board, maybe against a partner or against a computer. Maybe set up with 30 minutes for both sides and really play this position out like it was a tournament game. These kind of unclear positions are great for that. And I'm sure I was lost at some point going on here after white was able to activate the knight. That was a nice idea, g4 to activate the knight. Because I'm sure here I have to be lost. But somehow, just playing off instinct with, 7 seconds on my clock, I was able to defend all of white's immediate threats, and eventually I got them to exchange queens with me. I found a nice little knight maneuver late in the game. Where was it? Right here to play check, check, and defend the pawn, and I made a draw. Alright, thanks for watching everyone, and if you haven't already, please make sure you visit chesspathways.com right now and get signed up. It's totally free, only takes 5 seconds, and I will send you a free move-by-move guide to chess thinking when you sign up. I'm trying to help more players become masters, hopefully in a fraction of the time that it took me. Thanks, and I will see you over there.